Started to have stomach problems. I have like nausea. I spent weeks without talking to my own children. I felt my face like start to trembling. It was very weird. I visited the ER like 3 times. I couldn't talk, and whatever I talk, I got some strange sensation, like I couldn't manage life. It was very difficult. I'm writing books right now, and people are already reading the books. I'm working in this business mission. I call it the Kingdom Mindset Coaching. If you think you will recover, you will stay there. You have to decide, you can decide to believe you can recover.
Hello, everybody. Today I'm here with Melvin, 45 years old, all the way from the UK. He was born in Venezuela, but he's had such an amazing transformation over the last handful of years. At his worst, he was bedridden for a period of time. He couldn't even speak for months. And now he's actually preaching regularly. He's a preacher. So he's able to talk as much as he wants to. But there was a time when he couldn't do that. And I wanted to bring him on here because he's, like I said, had such an amazing journey, very inspiring, and he'll share more about it. But Melvin, you want to quickly introduce yourself to everybody on here?
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you. Awesome to be here. And I'm thankful with God, my King, my healer, and with the program with you. And my name is Melvin Salazar. As you said, I'm 45 years old. And I'm here because I have leveled up. I just went to a crash course of self-development. It was very challenging period and of my life. 2 years of we will dig later on of that, and it affect all the areas of my life, literally
Mhm.
all areas of my life and my family, even my faith in Christ that I'm Christian. And but now I am in a new level of purpose, thankfulness, and and mission, I would say, to help others.
hmm That's awesome, man. Yeah, totally different life path and or a different place in life where you are now versus just a year or two ago. So I'd love to go back in time to where all of this began. How did when did you know that this was going to be a serious issue for you and it started getting in the way of life? When did this CFS issue like really hit you?
Yes, it was, I would say, no, August, August 2023. On August 2023, I started to have stomach problems. After I ate, I have like nausea. So almost every time I ate, a lot of stomach problems. So I thought it was a virus bug. I went to the doctor and nothing. So, but I didn't give it too much attention. I just kept going. I was doing a lot of stuff, that was still is, but in another way, part of my mindset. Just never surrender. Go do how much you can. High achiever. And at that time, I was doing several jobs. My main job and another business, a lot of stuff with my
Wow.
family. But I have this. That was the first sign. Some stomach problems. But then in November, like a few months, then it went away. By the way, it went away without reason. And in November 2023, I started to have, after exercising, I started to have some chills, like you have a fever, but without fever,
Mm,
without a virus. So I just took some medicine and stuff, and it went away. I didn't know what it was, and but then I was like going on, like I was fully functional, but with these strange like symptoms. I didn't know what it was. But I would say the tipping point to start to worry was in on 2024, when as you mentioned, I am a preacher of the gospel of Christ. I'm Christian. I am the pastor of a church here in the UK. And during preaching, because I talk a lot, I have like now I know it was a recalibration of the a recalibration, like adjustment period, we call it. But I didn't know it was like a kind of crashing in the middle of the sermon, with the people looking
ooh,
at me and listen to me. and I felt my face like start to trembling. It was very weird, very weird. I didn't know, like something very strange that I couldn't even speak. So I finished as I could, and then I called my wife. I was very very cold also, very cold. So we didn't know what it
Mhm.
was. But at that time, I start to get worried. I thought, well, this is something serious. I thought. I mean, this is nothing like a virus or something. So I start to go to the doctor, and this is one of the things you learn. I learned that the medical system doesn't know about the brain, about the limbic system. Doesn't know. They doesn't know, or they don't want to accept it. The answer. We will talk later, maybe. But the doctor just told me that no, you're all right. Blood work fine. Everything was fine. But as months passed by, the speaking that was it hit me like the most. I couldn't speak. I couldn't finish sermon. I was in the middle of Bible study, or I was preaching. I got like nausea, like, and headache, a lot of symptoms, strange symptoms. I couldn't talk. Also, a sensitivity in the back of my head. I didn't know what it was, and like the sound of my own voice, like it was like a wave of sensitivity in the back of my.
Mm.
So it was very strange. I didn't know. So the first route we went with doctors. What they thought it was something in the stomach, because every time myself I didn't know what it was, but I saw that sometimes after I ate, I got some kind of reaction, strange reaction in my and my jaw also to chew, very strange. So they thought it was something in the stomach. They did all the exams. No, your stomach is fine. Everything is fine. Different specialist. I visit the ER like 3 times. One time I felt like exploding. My head was exploding. It was very strange. I was in a meeting with some friend of my church, and I also was confused, Miguel. This is important to mention that, because I didn't know what it was. I always thought these strange symptoms that I had was blood pressure,
Mhm.
because there is history of blood pressure in my family. And in fact, the first time I went to the ER, I had blood pressure high. But we already know what is the reason. But at that time, they tell me blood pressure, three reasons: kidney, heart, or unknown. And when they did all the exams, mine was unknown. Unknown, that is coming from the brain. I know that affect everything.
Yeah.
They didn't know. So, but then I started with medication, but the strange symptoms keep going on, and symptoms like it doesn't have to do with with the blood pressure. So I keep going to the doctors. So that stage, now I know, is when the loops in the limbic system got stronger. That stage of unknowing, of doctor doesn't know and worrying. So the lobe got stronger on talking and eating. So it started to affect me a lot to speak. Then I have to stop the preaching because I couldn't. And that was, I would say, one of the different stages, no, in 2 years. But that was one of that hit me very hard. Hit me hard. I'm a singer also. I sing Christian music, but I couldn't talk. And in my home, it affect all my family, my wife, my children. I spent weeks without talking to my own children. That was very
Wow. Weeks.
weeks. My
Weeks.
my, my, my wife used to cry about that, but I couldn't. Like
Yeah,
my
and was
children
it
just
just like it just you had no energy to talk or it hurt or
I
like just
could talk. I could talk, but I was very sensitive to sound.
oh, yeah.
And in the back of my head, now I know it's the brainstem. I know it's the brainstem, but before I didn't know, and no doctor told me. It was this part of my back got very inflamed, or I feel it inflamed. I felt it inflamed, but it wasn't, and I couldn't talk. And whatever I talk, I got some strange sensation, like I couldn't. manage life. It was very difficult. I could walk, I have strength at that stage and everything, but it affected me with the talking. So I just, at that time, wrongly, because I didn't know, I just stopped talking. And it was worse, it was worse. It was worse because the brain associated that talking was dangerous. And
Mhm.
it was even worse, but I didn't know. No doctor told me. And I went to the ER. One time I have to call the ambulance to my home because I felt like I was dying. I went for a run, and let me tell you this. I think this is the most, like I could say, disappointment in some way of the medical system. A neurologist. That's amazing. I went with a neurologist. They check me for a degenerative brain disease. They tell me, no, you're perfect. Your reflex, you're very strong. You're perfect. And they do MRI. They did MRI. They did other type of brain scans. You're totally normal. So they look the neurologist looked at me like I was crazy when I told them I couldn't speak, but I couldn't speak. He asked me a lot of time, but what do you mean you couldn't speak? So it was very frustrating for me because if you are the expert, the neurologist, and you don't know what I have, I must have something very wrong because even you don't know. You're a neurologist. So the
Yeah.
neurologist at the end told me, Miguel, he was close, but not close enough. He told me you have your brain is sending wrong signals to your body. That is totally factual, but that's it. That's the
It's
problem.
like, okay, good luck. That's what's happening. Good luck. Go
So
fix
how,
it.
how do I overcome this? He told me just do an aerobics exercise. Just run fast, so
Oh,
the brain catch it. So that was one of the worst thing. When I
and
run,
you actually went to try
the
to run.
neurologist told me. So the next day I run fast, and I had to call an ambulance. I was dying at home. I felt like I was dying. My head was exploding. And I was like dying.
That's
But
crazy.
the ambulance came. They checked me all. They told me, "You're perfect. Your blood sugar is perfect. Your heart is perfect. Blood pressure is perfect." Maybe it was just a panic attack. They told me, but it wasn't a panic attack. I wasn't scared in that way. It was the,
Hmm.
the, the the nerve system overload, but I didn't know. So that was like very difficult moment. And of course, the loop that we know, the danger loop got like consolidated. That was the worst stage. Then I think one of the he was a specialist in gastroenterology because they checked me for the stomach, and my I have low vitamin C. That guy was an expert. He didn't know what it was, but he told me, "Have you have COVID before? Because this is you don't have anything structural. You have low vitamin C." So I start to research myself, of course, and I don't recommend this to anyone. But I guess we don't look at recommendations. You just have to go through the stages.
Yeah.
I went
Yeah.
to the stage of looking in Google, get very discouraged. I have the degenerative disease. This is my end. And then I when I went to the doctor, you have fine. It was like very strange. So, but I'm fine, but I feel bad. What is the answer? So, but that doctor told me about low vitamin C. So I started to research myself, and I found out that some people that have had COVID have some electricity. Because I forgot that there is so many symptoms that I forgot. I start to have electricity, like electricity feeling in my body, flickers.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep because my calves were flickering.
Like
Very weird,
twitching and yeah,
twitching,
all that
very
stuff.
weird. All my body, and I feel even sometimes in my face, like a vibration. Like also, I felt like my heart, the bumping of my heart was in my head at night.
Throbbing, right?
I
Yeah.
couldn't I couldn't sleep. So, but when I tell to my GP, my doctor about the electricity, it was crazy. They didn't know electricity. Strange. They didn't know. So, but then I researched about long COVID, and a lot of people in the long COVID community in forums, they were telling about electricity, weird symptoms. So I diagnosed myself. I went to emergency room with feeling like dying again, and I couldn't speak at that stage. I wrote in a paper, I have neurological symptoms. I have long COVID. I me myself. uh, So the doctor ran all the tests, and they told me, "Now, okay, you have long COVID." And at that, you pass this stage that you get happy and then discouraged again happy. When they told me long COVID, I said, there was more than a year ago. I said, okay, at last we found it. Well, they told me, well, the problem is that what is the
No
medicine?
solution.
There is no
Yeah, no
medicine.
solution, right?
Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
then they sent me to a long COVID clinic. This was another big disappointment. Big disappointment. I got angry even at the doctor. My wife was with me, and the doctor was telling me that they listened to me, and they just told me it's the nerve system. They told me maybe it's the nerve system, but the solution is like practically no solution. Just try to breathe and calm down.
That was
So I
their
was
solution.
I was
Calm
I
down.
was, I was very angry because at that stage, after 1 year of suffering this, like my capacity to tolerate was at the bottom, at the top. So I was getting angry. And I understood at that long COVID clinic. I understood they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know. So after that, Miguel, after that, I paid private doctors also. Long COVID. I went public long COVID clinic, and they went a private long COVID. I spent a lot of money. So the long COVID doctor told me, okay, the nerve system, whatever, but they sent me a lot of pills. I don't know
Mm.
how much pills they peeled, and then those pills wasn't doing anything. I mean, they keep the same. So it was until, I would say, October 2024, after more than a year, that I would say God led me to a YouTube video of Miguel Bautista. Or big data. Also the internet is integrated. Maybe me Sergi, they know, and they recommended your video. And I went listening to you talking. I don't remember which specific video. I saw a lot of videos. It was the first time that I listened someone talking exactly what I was living, and hope raised at that time, but still I didn't believe too much. That's another thing. We
Yeah.
are raised. You don't know, but we the culture. You are raised in a brought up in a culture that doesn't know about this. And you the only thing if you have symptoms, I mean, a doctor is the one to help you. But I was like helpless. People, I talked with another doctor from another country, that private, and they told me, no, you're fine, but these symptoms are strange. You can look at alternative medicine, Asiatic, whatever. I didn't do it, but that doctor like have a sense that maybe have suspicion that was the nerve system, but they don't they don't know what to do.
Yeah, they don't know what to do other than medication, right? They just try to treat the symptoms. It's like
But
this
I
medication for
remember
this
some key
symptom.
key
Yeah.
key things that I started to believe it was a nerve system, but like the limbic system, the danger mode, this stuff in one of your videos, when you said that it's coming from here, you feel it in your body, but it's coming from the brain, and your testimony, of course. So I started to believe that. I started to believe that. For me, another difficult stage, Miguel, was about my faith, my Christian faith, and maybe some of the people here that have faith that is Christian struggle a lot with a challenge like this, because I felt that God abandoned me at some stage. I have been a Christian for almost 20 years. I have helped a lot of people with the gospel of Christ, but I felt at that moment that, I mean, there is no solution. I prayed a lot. I believe a lot. And I remember going to bed every night waiting for a miracle. Then at the other day, the same. So I got
Yeah.
discouraged. But then I learned. My wife, I remember my wife supported me a lot. My wife, amazing. She rewired with me in another way in this process. Rewired her brain. She recommended a Christian specialist on the brain, and I look at it in the social media, and she said that when you think God doesn't listen to you, it's your limbic system.
Yeah.
It's a danger. It's a dangerous point. You're all alone. You're all alone. So
Yeah.
listen to you. God is real. Is the limbic system. So that helped me a lot with my faith. That took my faith. Okay, God, you're here. This is something. Is the brain. Is the limbic system. So, but still, Miguel. I mean, then I joined the program. The program starting to help me a lot, and I was very focused on doing the work. But I didn't get it truly. I was doing everything. I'm very focused on what I do. That's a part of my personality. I was doing like everything you guys say, and I was getting worse in my physical capacity. I started to my work start to shrink. I couldn't go out of the house. I couldn't walk around. I couldn't uh, talk too much. I couldn't do almost anything. So I know that although I was doing what you do, but I didn't understand, and I didn't believe also. Belief, I can say with confidence, is the most important thing to recover from this. Belief,
Hmm. Yeah.
belief in general. Believe for me, believe in God, that God is in control of your life, but also believing that is this, that is the limbic system. Because if you divide it like, and I saw a lot of drivers, because I was one of them, like doing the program but doing a lot of checkups still and try to chase. That
Googling
doesn't
and
work.
all that. Yeah.
That doesn't work. I mean, you have to believe 100%. But I guess, and you'd say that in your classes in the program, is knowledge also. Fear is the lack of knowledge. Feed the fear. If you don't know, you have more fear. So I start to research more by myself. I start to hear Schubiner, Alan Gordon, you know, and like complementing what I was learning. And I start to understand more what was actually happening internally. I
Hmm.
needed to know. I needed to know. And when I understood, it was clear, objectively clear. So the fear start to go. Because I always, I go to this adjustment period, but they always pass. They always go. And it have a pattern. I learned that the limbic system is a machine. That's one of the things I understood, that it helped me a lot. It's a pattern recognition machine. So it doesn't have emotions. So
Hmm.
this thought that, okay, how long? It's a machine. You have to give it the signal that it needs to feel safe. If you don't get the signal, and I used to get frustrated, angry when I got the adjustment period, where I couldn't go, where I couldn't preach, where I couldn't go to church. When I saw my wife, that it affected me a lot. My wife, I drove everywhere in the house. So my wife's walking around with my kids raining. It affected me a lot. I felt like
No.
I'm the worst man. I mean, what kind of father, what kind of leader am I? I couldn't, I cannot go out of bed. It was very difficult. But when I understand it's a machine that you have to give opposite signal of what by association thing, you are in danger, you need to survive. So I started to do a practice also. I forgot about this. I was doing a lot of practice, even in the program, but not that I listened to a chiropractor, whatever, that I thought it was helping me. And while I research and learn more, for instance, I was doing Wim Hof, but I was doing Wim Hof at my nerve system was too sensitive.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No.
I didn't know. So then I understood, because sometimes when I finish to Wim Hof, I'm not saying it's good or bad. It depends of the level when you are, but I was very
Exactly.
sensitive.
Yeah.
For instance, so sensitive my feet got swollen just with water. When I got took a shower, my swollen and some rashes, and say, what is this? But I was took take taking cold showers. Also, it was too strong for that stage. I mean, it was too strong. So I start to realize all what I'm doing, like adjustment, because you learn what you think in your program, but you need to refine it to customize it to you.
Yeah.
That was the step I would have to do because I got frustrated. Like in March this year, I got frustrated. I was angry even with the program. I didn't tell you guys. It's not your fault. But I say, okay, this doesn't, the victim mentality. That is something important. You need to overcome victim mentality. This doesn't work. They don't understand me. They say, okay, smile, okay, but I'm getting worse. I cannot. So I start to refine. I mean, this thing doesn't work. Then I changed my breathing techniques. That it helped me. It was just like coherent breathing, just nose breathing, exhaling more longer than inhale, and it felt good. Barefoot walking, I did a lot, and you know, but then, well, this can happen. I was getting over focused on healing, and it was affecting me. But I did,
Yeah.
so it was like different stages, different stages to this until I realized I believe more like you have to do things. You have to go through the pain. But I will feel bad because I was like a kind of traumatized for that run I did when the neurologist told me, and then I was
Yeah.
like dying.
It's like
But
PTSD, right? Like you're scared
it is,
to do that again.
it
Yeah.
is, it is because when people tell you no, but you can do it, you say, but
I
you
don't
don't know how it
trust
feels.
you.
You
Last
don't
time
live in
somebody
there.
told me that, it was not good. Right.
So, but then I started. I started to challenge myself. For instance, there was one time when I started to challenge myself. I knew I would feel bad afterward, but I did it. I did it because I won't stay at home. I was like 5 months, 5 6 months housebound, and a lot of worries in my mind, Miguel. Finance, a lot of worry because if my job, if I lose my job, I mean, I'm the provider of my family. What will happen? And a lot of worries. I wasn't helping me a lot, and but God was in my side. God had my back. So I refined and I understood I have to start to do things. So the first thing one of the first biggest step I took was going to the cinema. Going to the cinema, there was a movie called, it's a series called The Chosen. It's about the life of Christ, and I really wanted to go. My wife wanted to. I really wanted to go. But I say when I evaluated too much noise, so I did it. I went. At that stage, I couldn't sit. For some reason, my brain. Well, I know the reason. A lot of stress I live was sitting, so I
Mm.
couldn't sit at that stage. I spent what that's what one of the most more harder loop to break, the sitting. I can just I could just stand up or lie down. I couldn't sit. I felt
Because your
bad.
brain associated sitting with like danger and you'd have
Yes,
symptoms from it.
yes, because I used to drive a lot in worry or working sitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was very frustrating the sitting because I mean I couldn't go out. I couldn't go to a restaurant with my family. I couldn't go because anywhere you have to sit. I couldn't. It was difficult. But at the cinema I went. What I did was I was earplugs at that stage, and I just stand up. I just stand up in the corner. I watch the movie, but that got me a faith. That got me faith. I can't do this. I mean, I feel awful, but I survive. I won't die. You
Hmm.
know, and different stages like that. Different stages like that. Then I went to a trip to London, like 1 hour and a half, not driving, just lying down in a car. And I have some challenging times there, but I did it. And this small step that it convinced me more, and I researched a lot. By the way, I have to say, at one stage I use a lot of AI I use AI, and I build like a customized coach, kingdom coach. I call it, because in my case, Miguel, because I am person of faith. Beside neuroplasticity, I need faith reassurance. So I build that combination for me. Whenever I need something, I train it like it was myself. It helped me a
Mm.
lot. It helped me a lot. And then I start to understand how I told you how the brain works. Is a machine. So I start to smile, for instance. There is different practice people can do. Whatever you it help you, but you have to learn by trial and error. There is no other way. What works?
Yeah.
Smiling, a lot of visualization, and a lot of the mind shift. What you say there. Be in the present moment, do what you can. And actually I started to have build a purpose. I mean, I couldn't work too much. I was in bed, but then I said, what can I do? And there's something I tell people in early stages, because you worry and you get sad a lot because the thing you cannot do. And I understood you can you cannot handle that. You cannot change. You only can do whatever you can in the present moment. You don't know the
Mhm.
future. And in my case, God had my future in His hand. I mean, I cannot. The future is not here. And if I cannot talk, so for instance, sometimes I couldn't talk, or I was very sensitive to sound, but at least I can write.
Yeah.
At least I can do. And I started to build a mission, building a mission, a purpose for me. And it gave me motive. It gave me motive. Whatever I could do, and it gave me joy, because this thing can rob you your purpose, your identity. Although I couldn't preach, because it was very important. I couldn't preach, but I could pray in my mind. There is a lot of stuff that I learned about yourself. You learn about yourself.
Mhm.
This conversation that is ongoing, that people you don't care, but it's important. What you are ruminating, what you're thinking. I learned about, uh, for instance, I build in my mind, that helped me a lot, a vision board. People usually like paint it or whatever. I did it in my mind. And sometimes when I couldn't move, I did my vision board with my mind. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Actually, it happened something amazing in one of the that is proof of neuroplasticity that is real, Miguel. One of the big boss that I in video games wording that I faced, it was like bedbound for 2 weeks. I lost all the strength of my body. So I usually, but I know it will pass. But it was difficult. Coach John helped me a lot at that time, a lot. Melvin, you can do it. It
Yeah.
will pass.
Shout out to Coach John. Yeah.
Ariel also, Krista, they helped me. They helped me a lot. So, but that time, you know what I did when I didn't have strength. I did workouts in my mind, like dumbbells, and what I tell you is amazing. Is proof of neuroplasticity. It was tiring, Miguel. Like in my mind, I was doing dumbbells. I was doing it, and I was in bed.
Yeah. I've
This
done
is
this too, actually. I've tried it. Like when I was sick and I couldn't move, I'd try running in my mind. I'd actually get tired and like I'd lift weights and I feel my heart rate would go up.
that's
Just
proof. It's
it's
amazing.
crazy.
That that
It's
that
crazy.
that little things convince me more. This is definitely neuroplastic, because
Yeah.
why I'm getting like pushed off, pushed down, or tired, um, lifting dumbbells in my mind. That doesn't make any sense. It makes sense. The brain don't differentiate your imagination, your thought of what actually happening. So it's very important what you think. You know.
Yeah.
Also, an important. I mean, there is so much thing we can talk here like 4 hours. But I learned, Miguel, that a lot of principles that you need to recover, they are in the Bible. For instance, Romans 12:2, it said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You have to renew your mind. Wow. That give me faith. It lifts me up. And it's true. It's factual. What you
Yeah.
think, you will become what you think.
Yeah.
This is
With
a
something like
kingdom.
this, it really teaches you the power of your thoughts. And people think thoughts is just invisible, it's airy fairy, but
Mhm.
these thoughts are, if we had a microscope, they're physical changes happening in your neural pathways.
It
The
is.
way you think affects your brain physically, and that translates into your body. That's how people can recover, and there's a mix of that and also slowly pacing yourself and reintegrating. But the foundation comes to rewiring a lot of that
Rewiring.
brain with
Rewiring.
neuroplasticity, you know,
What
updating the software in your brain.
what fire together, bite wire together.
Yeah.
But fire together, wire together. It's true. It's
Exactly.
really true. Sometimes you think, so sometimes you want something, but you believe the opposite. You think the opposite. So if you want something, you have to think about it. You have to believe it, and that's what I did. So when I started to have, it affected me a lot, the occiput pain. So I customized the exercise you teach. I customized it by myself. I included God because I need it. So I imagine myself, God putting His hand in my head, and a
Mm.
gold river going down, and that I repeat that thousands of times, and it helped me.
And it soothes it, right? It like
It helped
brings
me.
the pain down
It
over
helped
and
me.
over and over
It,
again.
it, it went away. The
Yeah.
blood of Christ also. So you have to believe. This is key. I mean,
Yeah.
I get that you get discouraged. One of the thoughts that it was recurrent was, you stop with this. You stop with this. You weren't victim mentality. Victim mentality won't help me. I mean, I self pity me. Why me? Why not me? Why not
Yeah.
me? If you live in this, you can do it. If you live
Mhm.
in this, you can do it. You were chosen. My wife used to tell me, you can defeat this. This test is customized for you.
Yeah.
Miguel, in the Bible, all the men that God used, they have to go through a test first. For instance, Moses was 40 years in the desert of training before being a leader. So 2 years, okay, I know it's difficult, but God have something new for you. There is a new beginning. There is new learning. I already helping people with unexplained symptoms, and I know it's their nerve system. The doctor said,
Mhm.
doctor doesn't know, and it's part of the business of the mission I'm building. This is not just about recovering of chronic fatigue symptom or hypersensitive nerves. Is about life. Nerve retraining impact everything in your life. You can imagine someone is sad or lack of motivation. Retrain your brain. Maybe you're not sick. Maybe you're not bedbound. You're fully functional. But people have a lot of anger, frustration. All that you can rewire. You can rewire
Mhm.
for life.
Yeah.
You learn
In
that is
different areas as well,
in
not
different
because
areas.
you learn how to do it in other areas of life. And for you, like, once you started having those big mind shifts and you went to the cinema, then you did start doing other things. How was that kind of trajectory? Did things get it's like you made more progress in the next few months than you did in
Yes,
the previous like year, right?
yes,
It gets
yeah.
easier
In
over
April,
time.
it started to go up, and then because I understood, I have to do things. I knew. So I did this big trip to London for a Christian conference. Was thousands of people, a lot of noise, praying. I went. I felt bad. One time I had to run to the hotel, but I went. I came back, and I didn't drive. Someone was driving me, some friend, and brothers in Christ. But when I came, it was in June this year. Then I faced my big boss. Wow, that was the like the big boss of the video game, or the big giant in
The
biblical
next
time.
level
It was a giant
recovery.
because it got combined with a virus, and I got a very strong adjustment period when I was left with no strength, like breathing. I felt I couldn't breathe, but I could breathe. But it was like it was too heavy,
Yeah,
and
I know that feeling. Yep.
That's what the time. I want to say that you have to face your fears. You cannot run away. So my biggest fears on recovery was to get bedbound because I joined semi-functional, but it was the best thing. Also, let me tell you this: when I was
Yeah, yeah.
bedbound for
Share
two
this. Share
weeks,
this. This is important for people to hear. Very important. The
so when I
lessons.
was bedbound for 2 weeks, of course you can think I didn't join. I didn't start like that. But what I went through this, I couldn't eat, I couldn't swallow, I couldn't get out of bed. Just going to the toilet or brushing my teeth was a workout, literally. I couldn't do anything, and there is in some intensity that you feel you're dying, literally, you're dying.
Yeah.
But you know what I learned? Like really, really learned. You won't die. The nerve system is literally trying to do the opposite.
Trying to keep you alive. Yeah. You won't
You
die.
won't die. That helped me because you feeling you're dying. Literally, I was like I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But that thought that is trying to save me. I mean, it won't die, and I won't die. I learned it to the core. That's the worst it can get. Worse than that, it cannot become because it won't kill you. It's literally trying to do the opposite. Fear of death is one
Yep.
of the big. Is the biggest fear of people. But you won't die. So I say, what can I do? I think those 2 weeks, that was the biggest adjustment period, the big boss. I did the biggest rewire to safety. I took the opportunity. That's what I was lifting dumbbells. I was doing a vision board with my wife, going with the goals, preaching the gospel around the world. I was doing nonstop.
In your mind, right?
In my mind, yes, it was real, but in my mind.
Yeah.
You know what? After that adjustment period, my healing was exponential, Miguel.
Just took off like a rocket
Took
ship.
off, took off. Then another thing that gave me a lot of confidence was that on August this year, I have long time, like I don't know, 1 year without driving. So, but we needed to go for some remembrance with my wife and kids to a place, 2 hours driving. So I decided myself, let's go. I will drive. The day after, I had an adjustment period, like very intense, not as intense as the other. And my wife was telling me, like, maybe we stop. No, 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 we don't stop. I don't. Doesn't matter. Let's go. Let's go. You know what? It was a success. When I went, I could drive. I could swim at the beach.
Wow.
I went to restaurant with my family. Of course, I had some symptoms, but I could do it. After that, like it was another check for me and recovery.
It's a new milestone, right?
This is the thing. From there, I mean, it just took off. I started to go out to amusement park with my kids, preaching again full sermons, and I knew maybe some symptoms will come, but I can do this. And you know, I feel I'm unstoppable. With God,
Yeah.
I'm unstoppable. You're unstoppable. And let me tell you, the people in the program, Miguel, is the bravest people. I mean, if you're chosen for that, because you're not doomed. I used to think I am doomed because I research the percentage of people that can suffer from this, and it's very minimal. And you
Yeah.
can you can feel doomed. I am doomed. It's the opposite. You're chosen. You are chosen for a bigger purpose. Why you? Because God entrusts this to you. You're special. You're a special person. You're brave, and that's something that you need to believe for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And everything you just shared was absolute gold. And that's the way I saw it as well. I had to reframe it. In the beginning, it's that victim mentality. And of course, any normal person would feel that. Why me? I didn't do anything bad with my life. I try to do good. I try to, work hard. Why am I being punished for this? But you
Yes.
feel like a victim, but then I had to reframe that to saying like, there must be a reason I'm going through this. And I always wanted
Exactly.
to have an exceptional life, an exceptional impact. And, in order to do those things, I was like, well, my path would have to be exceptional. It would have to be different from a regular person's path. So if I ever get through this, there's a reason I'm going through this right now. And actually, I will have a story to tell once I get through this. And that's the story I tell now. It's being able to come through this. So sometimes the harder it is, the more extreme the case, the more powerful and the more of an
Of course,
inspiration you could
it
be
is.
to other people.
It
It's bigger
is.
than just you,
It
you
is.
know?
And that's it very important. I mean, anyone looking at this that is in an early stage. I mean, listen to the coaches. They know what they're talking about. I mean, this is the person that can help you. I mean, in adjustment period, I used to see recovery interviews, John Junior, Krista, and it lifts me up. It lifts me up. I mean, give me hope. Watching you running that marathon. I mean, it lifts me up. I mean, it's not. There is no small encouragement. Encourage yourself. That's another thing I learned. I learned, Miguel, there is thing in life like this, but there is other things that nobody can help you. Only God can help you or yourself. For instance, my wife, my kid, they wanted me to get better. They support me a lot. My wife is a champion. You know, we joke a lot about. I love my wife with all my heart and my kid. We joke a lot about if we pass this, we are for life. We are for forever because it's very difficult. For instance, for my wife, like I am the leader of my house and being the person that lead everything in a bed. I mean, insecurities, a lot of stuff going through your mind. I can imagine. But
Yeah.
but she learned. She's very brave. Thank to my wife, my church is still standing. She raised up to preach every Sunday. Shout out to my wife and my brothers and sisters from the church, all the support and prayers, all the people, my mother. And but I can tell you that this is a big opportunity. It's an opportunity. Problems are opportunities.
Mhm.
I'm writing books right now, and people are already reading the books. I'm working in this business mission. I call it the Kingdom Mindset Coaching. It's about rewiring your mind with the principle of the kingdom of God to help people. But we are chosen. That's a great refrain because if you get the victim mentality that you're doomed, whatever you think, the Bible says, as a man thinks, it is. The Bible said in Proverbs, as someone thinks, it is. So you think you're doomed. If you think you will recover, you will stay there. You have
Mhm.
to decide. You can decide to believe you can recover. To believe this is for the better. Put up the work. Put on the work. Your mind. Believe from people that have recovered. Because there is another thing. I wanted to tell you that you learn this challenge isolate you. No, nobody can help you. They don't know what to say. So, but this is opportunity to learn more about yourself, to
Yeah.
learn about how to encourage yourself, to shout out to yourself, and I have to do every day that visualizing self-declaration. You are chosen. You are blessed. You can do this, and you become a happier person. You know, a happier person and more fulfilled because you don't need the approval or the encouragement of anybody else. It's fine that people do it and we receive it, but how powerful is that you can do it yourself?
Mhm.
It's
Absolutely.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's powerful. Like, and that's the thing. Like, once you come out the other side of this, you kind of emerge back into the world like a different person. It's like,
Yes, it is. It is.
the analogy, the rising of the phoenix from the ashes. That phoenix, the bird or whatever, has to burn and crash in order to become something greater than it ever even thought possible. So, you know, we see it all the time with you, myself, all the coaches, all the other hundreds of people recovering from this. I've never seen somebody come out the other side the same person. They're always better. It's a improved version of themselves.
I think it's
It's a
because the only way to go to the other side is that you have to change.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
important. I used to get a bit sad when I started the program because I was a high achiever, like, and I thought I have to surrender that never surrender attitude, but I just have to redirect it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's redirected to patience, to wait. There is so much thing I learned. For instance, I was in my daily life, in my mind, I was always rushing, like in my mind. Now I identify myself. Take it easy. The interview will start. Okay, that's very important because maybe you're rushing in your mind one day, but all your life rushing, it will take a toll.
Hmm.
So you have to learn to do things, but in your mind, pacing in peace. Your mind. I
Hmm.
learned also, Miguel, in my later stage of recovery that is not about what I do, it's how my brain interprets what I do. Because that's for instance, at early stage, I thought, oh, he's driving, he's talking. So I stopped doing it. That's the natural thing people do. If I do this and I felt bad, don't do it. That's what I did.
Hmm.
I stopped driving, I stopped talking. No, it's the opposite. You have to understand that it's not, it's too much. I used to think about it. Oh, I did too much. Nothing is too much. It depends how your brain interpret the activity. Of course, if you
Exactly.
think it's too much, you will have a big reaction. But that gave me confidence because it's not physical. It's not what I do. It's my brain that helped me to keep pushing and keep leveling up. Also, this is very
Hmm.
important.
Yeah, very, very important. And you've shared so many golden nuggets. I'm sure people can take away so many things to learn from this and apply into their own recoveries. What's coming up for you in the near future that you're excited about? Like,
Yeah,
what's going on in your world?
I already exciting. As I mentioned before, first and foremost, serve God, keep pastoring, keep singing. I actually years ago I recorded music. I already have in my mind. That's another thing. I couldn't move. I'm composing music and writing new songs in my mind. I couldn't sing with my voice, but I could do it in my mind. Now I have pending some albums that I want to record for Christ, preaching mission, the gospel, my family, sharing more with my kids, my family, just laughing with my kids is gold for me. It was before, but now it's, you know, it
It's
just,
the
I
best. Yeah.
appreciate just taking it to school and laughing with them is like a big award. It is. And I'm working in this business. I'm as I mentioned before, so to encourage people to rewire your mindset with the kingdom of God and writing books and, helping people. I think one of the big takeaways that I take from this is that I was chosen to help people. And when you are chosen to help people, you have to go through it. You have to go through the situation. You have to feel to have to understanding with people.
Hmm.
And I mean, all that God wants for me, the will of God, I want to do it. And I'm very happy that I met Miguel and this team because definitely it helped me. I used to I joke with my brother, my older brother. This is like a crash course, Navy SEAL Spartan training, but for the
Exactly.
mind. But for the mind, people doesn't know, but it's for the mind. And I also learned how how low how few people take care of their mind. People don't take the. That's another thing. This is not about psychology because conventional medicine thing no it's psychiatry or psychology that used to frustrate me because I wasn't scared. I feel fine. No, this is subconscious. This is in the machine in the limbic system. This is neuroplastic. This is another language. And I guess also I hope that with the work you're doing, Miguel, and the work I will do by the grace of God, we can make an impact also in the medical system in some way that they
Yeah.
can acknowledge that neuroplasticity is real. There is so much
Hmm.
people with chronic pains, taking pills for life. The solution is rewire your brain.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think it's slowly starting to be more common in the medical system, but there's a long way to go. But that's why we try to post as many videos as we can, and people like you just helping people with this kind of stuff. That's how we can make an impact with our story. And I also think it it makes that part of our life, that maybe darker chapter, it gives it purpose.
Of
Because
course,
what do we do with that chapter if we were to just say, poor me, I didn't do this and this, versus I lived through that. How can I use that and create this ripple effect and use it for something positive to help others? And that's the best way, I think, to go about
of course.
dealing with this chapter of your life. So, you know, before we wrap this up, Melvin, what final words of wisdom would you like to share with people watching this right now? You've shared so much today, but what do you want to leave them with if somebody's really struggling right now, and th- there's a little bit of hope, but they're really down on themselves, they're in the trenches, maybe they're just as sick as you are. What kind of words of inspiration would you like to share with them?
Yes, thank you for that. You can do this. That's the first thing. If you weren't through this, it's because you can do it. God won't allow any test that you cannot overcome. You can overcome it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that in God, but believing you can do it. You know, you can do it,
Mhm.
and focus in the present moment. Be thankful, and also that is temporary. This is temporary. What is happening now, this is just a moment. It will
Yeah.
pass, and we will pass. Adjustment period pass, and if Miguel did it, I did it, and I struggle a lot. I struggle a lot with confidence that thinking I was stuck, but you're not stuck. You are being transformed. You are being like a verse of the Bible, unshakable like a diamond. The diamond is go through a process, or like
Yeah,
the pearl. The pearls
fracture.
got a big pressure, the pearl, and then the pearl can rise up. So this is opportunity to rise up. It's opportunity to grow, to be the best person you can be in your
Mhm.
mind and externally to help others. And you were chosen. You were chosen. This is a superpower. This is a superpower. You have to learn to how to redirect the superpower for the good. You know,
Yeah.
so much power without knowledge. The Bible said people die for lack of knowledge, but the knowledge is here. The knowledge is here in this program, in this we are sharing, and it's very real. It's true. Believe, believe what we are telling you. Neuroplasticity works. You are not stuck. Your best
Mhm.
years are ahead. And I add, of
Absolutely.
course, in the name of Jesus Christ, you are healed. Amen.
Oh man. Wow. That is powerful, man. So powerful. And I love all the wins you've shared over the last several months, just you getting better over time, spending time with your children and family. It's just so cool to see. And for you guys watching this right now, watch this over again. There's so many golden nuggets in this. And just like we said, and I always say this in these videos, but we're not aliens. I'm not anything like some superhero. Melvin's just a normal, he's a human being, just like all the other people you see on here. At one point, we were in your guys' shoes, if
Mhm.
not even worse, and we've had this. We've been to the hospital. We've had all the blood tests and scans and all these different things. We've been in your shoes before. And, if we can do it, then it's possible for you too. As long as you've had your tests and scans done, the doctors can't find anything. Like, this is not forever. It may feel like it, but this is just a chapter of a much larger book. And like Melvin said, the best days, the best years, the best times are yet to come. And I'm so excited for you guys watching this right now. And at some point, you're going to be in his shoes as well. Like, we'll be having this conversation. You'll be inspiring other people in the blink of an eye. But we just got to help you get there, right? So keep on watching the YouTube videos, keep on absorbing as much information as you can, and most importantly, implementing it, believing that you can actually recover. And if you needed more help, that's what we're here for, right? I'll leave a link in the description down below. You can learn more about how we can help you. But ultimately, and I always say this in every video, ultimately, you are a thriver, and you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. And Melvin, congrats on your many, many mind shifts. You did it, man. We did it.
Thank
So
you. Thank you,
congratulations.
Lord. Thank you to you guys.
I would say that CFS recovery is absolutely the real deal.
I actually felt like somebody had an answer, like somebody explained what was going on, and it all clicked.